we go, baby. All right, happy Sunday, Boruto 195. And let me get this first point out the way before I get on to my, MVP and shit. There was a very important flashback in the beginning of this episode, and I think it would patch up a lot of the fears that some Boruto fans had, where a particular scene from the manga was cut out or altered that it wasn't even shown in the anime, but there's a scene in that whole flip over the table and the vase breaks moment. Naruto turns into Sage mode, and in that moment, Kwaki decides, yo, I'm not gonna run away from this motherfucker. I think he could protect me from Kara and Jigen and shit. We got that flashback here where Kawaki goes back to the time where Naruto, yes, uses the Sage mode and saves that little kid. And, it's more of a heroic moment than a threatening moment. And and we get that words from Kawaki, I'm just using you so I can stay safe for the bit, okay? So we got that out the way. If you ask me for my opinion, I have no fucking problem with the anime doing. In fact, it's probably better. I was a little bit hesitant, like, how are they gonna work this? Like, how are they gonna, do this? Because that was a key moment from the manga, but they played it out way better. They do it better in the anime. But anime, we haven't seen all the crazy moments yet that the manga has gave us. The anime, I feel like overall will be the better story of Boruto when it's complete. And that's just really how I feel about it. But on to the MVP, pretty much the main focus of this video is Kawaki's rollout. I really feel like the anime is putting in that work developing Kawaki's character, but I fear that it's going to go over some of the fans' heads, right? Because over the course of his arc, there's been a lot of little nuance and hidden truths behind truths when we get into his interactions with other characters, even some of the physical, not physical, but verbal altercations he gets with other characters and shit like that, and just his personality in general. And then more than just trying to say he's an asshole or something like that, I think what the anime is really doing with Kwaki is he's kind of highlighting him as a person who is more of a patient than he is a problem. He's a nigga with some trauma and shit, all that back. We seen the fucking backstory, bruh. But it would be too easy just to say he's this way because of his past. And I think they're aiding this by showing a lot of examples in pretty much every fucking thing that he does, right? Because everything that he does is an act of defense. Not only just his proximity to Naruto, him being close to Naruto to feel safe, but everything from his behavior, his personality, and his actions. And referring to the earlier flashback, I believe it sums it up perfectly. So we have Kawaki who's like, yes, I'm around Naruto because I feel like he could protect me. But furthermore, we get a little bit more of a personality trait with Kwaki, like a feeling of guilt, because extending onto that flashback, there's a moment where he's remembering Boruto talking that shit. Yeah, man, this is what I don't like about you. You think you could just buy another vase and it's going to be all cool. There's a hint of guilt. To me, that was a sign of guilt. Like, he was bothered. He was bothered by those words. He probably feels like, man, you don't even know me like that, bro. Like, I think some fans would probably look at that flashback and be like, damn, look at this nigga. Like, this nigga Kwaki, he kind of just using these motherfuckers. Because it looks like something where I'm using Naruto, and also that nigga Boruto is annoying. Like, that's what that flashback made look like to some people. And just to touch on Boruto a little bit, I think some fans may see Boruto as going on another little bratty episode, making Kwaki go out and buy vases and shit and being upset about this, and he's jealous because Naruto's spending time with him and whatnot. But I think in a roundabout way, Boruto is actually helping Kwaki. And I don't mean purposefully. I don't think he really, summed up this whole little plan and tried to get him to go out and do all this. I just think it helps Kwaki because it forces him to reflect on his actions. So when you get that, like I said, the flashback, he's clearly thinking about what the fuck Boruto has told him. Like, yes, Boruto is making him go on this little scavenger hunt because he is truly upset about what he has done to his sister and whatnot. But it's similar to the little things that Naruto is more strategically doing. So like that moment where Naruto says, hey, Kwaki, you should, maybe let Sarada try your little chocolate treat and shit. It's an exercise to try to get Kwaki to break out of his little shell and, step out of his comfort zone and, earn little friendship points type shit. Albeit Boruto's method like I said, I don't think he brainstormed this whole thing and was like, yeah, we're gonna get Kwaki to, do this and that, and he's gonna buy the fucking vase, and that's how he's gonna earn the trust. I really think Boruto is hurt. He is down bad about that situation, but like I said, it also helps Kawaki develop as a character. So in the end, it is another like good little exercise for him to do. But we also have these little micro moments of defense with his interactions with other characters, such as, like, we could break this down in some other categories too. So socially, we get him going out, and in this scene, let me paint the picture, bruh. So we at the food stand, right? You can see in that scene, Kwaki's like off to the side. It's Naruto, Tojo, and Sarada. They're all, discussing which ones they're gonna get. Kwaki, he's not really in the picture. He's on that left-hand side. It's also showing you, like, in the, I think it's the outro, when they're all doing homework and shit. He's like more of the observer of all these situations. He's, he's new to this shit. He ain't got no friends. But anyway, he ends up choosing chocolate as his favorite. Kwaki chooses chocolate. Sarada gives him a little recommendation. Chojo says, you can trust Sarada with her recommendations. She's like she's an expert at this. Plus she's from the village. In active defense, he's low-key like, yo, are you guys judging the fucking food? Like, shut up, fat bitch. He pretty much is like, yo, shut your fat ass up. And I don't think, like, of course, we know he don't really know how to talk to people like that, but you could see this as an active defense. Like, yo, are you judging me by my choices of food I'm making? Like, come on, no, take it easy. Take it easy, son. You don't even know me like that. Like, I want the chocolate. I chose the chocolate. You don't need to pick for me. And another thing that this anime is doing well is, like, they do the teeter-totter thing so well, because in one moment it's like, yo, he's very brash, he's very rude, oh, he's coming along. So he takes a bite into this little chocolate treat and he's loving it. His eyes are rolling back. So we get that more human, more approachable side of Kawaki. And then once again, Sarada comes in. Yo, is this your first time eating this type of shit? And this is where we get back into defense mode. Yeah, so what if it is? Like, it's like he's almost offended. It's not, I don't know if he's offended, but it just feels as if he has to defend himself almost around every single corner. It's just like he's so used to being in combat mode. And we even see this physically from Kwaki. So there's other kids playing around in the field, and well, not field, but in the city. One happens to bump into him. And I think it's safe to assume that when he feels them like being bumped into, we've all been like scared by our friends and shit. We've been mad at them for like a cool 5 seconds. Yo, what the fuck? Like, it's a joke. They're joking. Yo, man, I was just joking. But you're still like in that upset mode. It's like, fuck your jokes, nigga, I was scared. But you're not gonna say you're scared, especially a nigga like Kawaki with all that pride. He's not gonna be like, yo, I was scared. So he turns around, his arm transforms, and he's like grabbing this kid by his face, which I don't necessarily think it was him trying to teach the kid a lesson. I think it was more of a reflection of his natural instinct. And he explains himself a bit. It's cool to play around and shit, but like there's dangers around and all this fucking, like, this world is a dangerous place, bruh. It's more of an explanation of his mindset, his point of view. And yes, it's a bit rough, which he was scolded for. So like, once again, we get back into the socially thing. He's now scolded by both Naruto and Sarada. Like, yo, what the hell? These are just kids. You gotta stop being so crazy about this shit. And then, once again, he gets back into defense mode. Oh, sorry, I wasn't raised properly. He kind of says it in that, that type of a way. And I think, rather than being like, yeah, you guys are right, it's like he feels attacked in that moment. It's 2 against 1. He was just scared by this kid. Because it was like, yeah, he heard something coming, but like he was bumped before he like looked back. And plus it's like oh, there's a spider in here. I had to kill you, little nigga. Anyway. It's like, it was like he was startled. He was, you're turning around and it's like a little kid. So he was out of the line of vision. He's bumped and then he transformed. His body like reacts. Yo, what the fuck was that? So he's not going to be like, yeah, I'm sorry, you guys. This little kid scared me and I overreacted. It was just, no, it's defense mode. Sorry, I wasn't raised properly. And then we also get this psychologically. So now he's in the fucking flower shop and shit. Shout out to Eno. And this nigga literally has PTSD. Like, he sees the flowers going into the vase. He thinks back to all the lab experiments and he's freaking the fuck out. And I think this kind of opens up people's eyes around him, especially Naruto had to come in and hug him. And then Sarada also seen him in a different, like, her eyes started twinkling and shit. Like, oh shit, damn, this nigga's fucked up. But at the end of this little field trip around the Leaf Village, Sarada, says her goodbyes. If you need anything, I got you. I'm gonna be the next Hokage. I'm next up, dog. Kawaki's a little bit thrown off. He's like, yo, what the fuck was that about? And Naruto pretty much says, look, man, you made friends. Now, here's another moment where I say there's like a there's a hidden truth behind the truth. So Kwaki, of course, is like, yo, I don't need fucking friends. And like I said, this might go over some niggas' heads. Yo, this motherfucker's an asshole. Like, look at him. He's being back to being an asshole. It's not that. Because remember what he said about that little dog. Remember when Sumire was, out trying to get him back to the hospital and shit? He didn't want to get close to that dog because he was like, man, at the end of the day, anyone who gets close to me is in danger. These motherfuckers is after me and all that. So he's still in that mode. He can't get attached to nobody. So to Kawaki, distance is a form of protection to those around him. He can't get close to you motherfuckers because, like I said, except for Naruto, he see Naruto as that nigga. Naruto, that nigga, he might, he could throw them hands with Jigen. That's the only one he could get close to, really. So it's there's a chance that it may not be like, yo, fuck all these people. It's just more so, it's a danger for me to get close to you because of those who are after me type of thing. And then later on, this is a dope ass scene too. I don't remember this being part of the manga, but Naruto takes that nigga out to get the ramen, and he's trying to teach him about friendship, exchanging gifts, looking out for one another. He does it symbolically through the bowl of ramen. And Kwaki once again tells him, like, I don't need all that shit. I told y'all niggas I don't need no fucking friends. And like I said, you could connect that back to the whole dog situation. He didn't even want to get close to the dog because niggas had. And wait, hold on, let's talk about the PTSD thing, because all right, we get it. The vase, the flowers going into the vase could have triggered you. But what about the fucking fish? The fucking treat you were eating was shaped like a fish. A nigga tried to take you to the booty room. He tried to put you on the black market. And he was trying to sell you goldfish. So that was another moment that could have triggered. That nigga took a good ass bite out of that fish and his eyes was rolling back and everything. So, that's just funny talk. Then, it wasn't too big of a deal. Like I said, overall, this episode was more than just a walk in the park type of thing. I know some people might look at it and be like, yo, they didn't really do shit. He was just walking around, nigga bought a vase and cried. This was a dope ass, like, this is one of those symbolic episodes, but I think this was done well. And I think, Naruto being involved in the episode and all that, like the actual main characters, side characters in the village, I think that helps, as opposed to having like the whole, run away from the hospital. Like the episode was cool. The dog one, it was cool, but at the same time, it just felt like a little bit extra. But it's dope to see it tie into the story, even if it was like more of an eventually type of thing. But that's a dope thing that's about this anime. It's like you got to take the episodes brick by brick. They're all important, but you might not see the result until later. So all this character building for Kawaki, I fuck with the shits. But I do have a few like little random questions, because like that was my main point. MVP Kawaki, I think, like I said, they're doing a dope job with him. And now I got some random ass little funny questions and shit. First of all, is Hinata doing enough in this show? Because if you think about someone like Ino, she runs a fucking flower shop. She got the security. Like, she still has that element of shinobi within her. Whereas I feel like Hinata's like, damn, she's just a fucking housewife. Like, we know she got them fucking hands. She don't be doing shit, though. I just don't feel like she be doing shit. We got Ino. She's been shown to be a good mother. She got them fucking hands. Well, she has, like, a job to do within the fucking leaf, the protection of the leaf and shit. And she does her little side. Like, she's more dynamic. To me, Ino is probably the best mother that we've seen out of all the new gen people. She's the most dynamic. We haven't seen Sakura enough. We know we had those little moments. She had that one real good episode with Sarada. And secondly, in your guys' opinion, has Kwaki shown development? Has he changed? Because I feel like, in my opinion, I feel like when we first got to Kwaki, he was very fucking hostile, like extremely hostile and dangerous. Then he went to rude. Now I think he evolved from rude to just being rough. He's just a little rough around the edges. Another thing, I definitely think the anime added the whole little, added some more clarity to this interaction with Boruto and Kwaki. I think he is a bit jealous about him hanging out with his dad and shit. That's why he's gonna have him super glue this shit. Because we seen him say, well, that does show that you're sincere. Like when he came home with the new vase and shit, that does show that you're sincere. But here's this for you. Like, yo, now you gotta super glue this shit. Fuck you, dog. Because he had that moment with his mom. He was like, or he was asking, yo, where's dad at? And he was like, oh, he wants to go out. And then Kawaki's with him. Oh, what the fuck? Why is he, helping that nigga out? So there's a bit of jealousy between the two. And could y'all guys be friends with Sarada? As Kawaki coming into the village, Yeah, I mean, like, come on. And picture this. You pulling up into the village, her fat homie trying to judge you, trying to tell you what to eat and shit, and she just going at you. She following you through the village. She ain't minding her own damn business and shit. Like, she cool. Eventually, we could be cool maybe, but I don't know if I could be friends with her off the rip. But peace, y'all.